It is Wednesday, February 23rd. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to our regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works for Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. Dr. Campos?
Good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer with the Board of Public Works, establishing roll call and quorum for today. We have Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Caloza, and Commissioner Villegas. Madam Chair, you do have a quorum at this time. Currently, we do not have any callers on the line under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We do have one caller on the line for item number 2. We're also anticipating a secondary caller for item number 2. At this time, again, callers for item number 2 are in the queue.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Well, that takes us now to the first item of business, which is the approval of the minutes for Friday, February 4th, 2022, and Wednesday, February 9th, 2022. Is there a second to my motion to move this item forward?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Caloza. Dr. Campos, any objections, colleagues?
No objections from me.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. And I will hear none from Commissioner Villegas. With no objections, we move this item forward with by myself and Commissioner Caloza. Getting started, you guys. Okay. Dr. Campos, roll call.
Yes, we'll go ahead and start the voting tabulation at this time. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Caloza.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas. Thank you. And this motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move this forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Great. Colleagues, today we have a very special day. We're celebrating the graduation ceremony for the mortar sweeper operator for fall 2021 class of the Bureau of Street Services. We're gonna take we have a lot of guests here today, and we have our graduates on the line too. So it's an exciting morning. I'm excited to be here. It's an honor to always be here when we have these type of graduations. This is my favorite thing that I do as a commissioner, to see folks move on to improve their careers, which equals improving their life and improving their quality of life for their families. So I love this part. So Keith, thank you for always doing this, Greg, and the folks at Bureau of Street Services. But before that, I'm gonna move this to Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Villegas, do you want to take it along?
Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone's attendance today. I'm Commissioner Teresa Villegas. I'm the liaison for Streets LA, our Bureau of Street Services, and this is a bureau that takes care of our streets, takes care of our public rights of way, and really focuses on the experience for our pedestrians, our users of our streets. And we have an entire holistic view of how we approach our experience for our streets and just for our public rights of way, just because we have so many different users now. And the recognition that we have for our graduates, our street sweeper, our motor sweeper operators, it's no different than the folks that are doing work, either in the office or doing work for our asphalt or for tree planting. And so we take this very seriously, and we commend all of those that have gone through the program, and we are looking forward to this graduation ceremony, as Commissioner Garcia was just mentioning, and I just want to really, say congratulations, and I'm hoping that as you start your journey with Streets LA, it's not just for sweeper, but it also progresses, because the Bureau of Street Services has many different opportunities for work, and we see that through our director, Keith Mose, who has been with the Bureau for a long time and who has moved his way up throughout the ranks in the Bureau of Street Services, and now he's, now he is at the helm and leading this bureau. So with that, I will at least turn it over to our director, Keith Mose, if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Commissioner. Madam Chair, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone, colleagues. I'm proud to, bring forth the Motor Sweeper Operator graduation ceremony. Thank you for having us. This is an integral part of our workforce development at Streets LA for that, matriculation through the Bureau, through the ranks to promote up. And basically, we believe in giving not only workplace experience, but also opportunities to get certificates and even degrees through our street maintenance technology program. The Motor Sweeper Operator School has been around since around 1985, give or take. And it's an opportunity for folks to go from, say, maintenance labor to a motor sweeper operator. And it's also an opportunity to learn what it's like to, not only clean our streets, but involved with our paving operations. But it gives opportunities for motor sweeper operators to, get involved in leadership. And this is just one of many opportunities. This class basically provides gives the training and skill sets needed to take the motor sweeper operator civil service exam so that they can promote to motor sweeper operator. We have motor sweeper operators that clean streets. We have motor sweeper operators that are part of our pavement preservation program. And the, core purpose of motor sweeping is to basically keep our storm drains clean, to keep trash out of the, from going to the oceans. That's the core purpose of the motor sweeper, but it does what these, the functions that these people will be performing. But not only that, it provides an aesthetic clean value to neighborhoods, to, different parts of the city, and it's an enhanced part of our operation when it comes to, different street cleaning and also our pavement preservation program. So it's a very important part of our core operation. But it's something that we believe in, and we believe in training, is, like I say, through our street maintenance technology program to give opportunities to our folks, to workforce development, so that they can learn, grow up through the ranks. So with that, I want to thank the men and women who have sacrificed many weekends, basically taking this course. It takes a lot of time and effort and study away from their families. So that form of dedication, we really look highly upon that. And so I want to thank everybody, and also the administrators of this program that basically make this happen for us on a daily basis, all of our instructors, and also our, people as far as our executives and our street service supervisors and superintendents. So I want to thank everybody, and also thank the Board of Public Works for your support, for making this program happen. So again, congratulations to the men and women that have graduated from this class. There's more opportunities out there. This is just the beginning of your, of your career ladder. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Director. And I see on here also Assistant Director Greg Spots, if you wanted to share a few words before we continue.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Director Mose. It's great to be here with everybody. I'm Greg Spots, Executive Officer, and one of my duties is overseeing the Street Maintenance Division, which has about maybe 3/4 of our motor sweeper operators, and the rest of them support the construction. The folks that I oversee are well known to the community. They pass by people's houses in big yellow trucks. And during the pandemic, I became one of the constituents who's like waiting to see my sweeper go by. I used to get contacted by people like that. Now I am that guy. I'm very aware of when the sweeper goes by, and I often go out and take a look at my street afterwards. I have 3 messages for our recent graduates. One, this is a great job. We have folks who stay in motor sweeper operator for 5 or even 10 years. You get to work somewhat independently. You get to see an immediate difference in what you're doing on a minute-to-minute basis, improving neighborhood quality of life. Number 2, this is going to be a growing field. We all know that cleanliness is a very important issue in the city at this particular moment. The main motor sweeping program in maintenance lost a lot of motor sweeper operators due to the retirement incentive in 2020. We're going to be building that back up. There's going to be a lot of discussion during the budget cycle about growing the sweeping program. We know there's a lot of interest in that because the council's put forth several motions on asking us how we could staff up and provide better service to more parts of the city. We're also commissioning a consultant study on how we could redesign the posted route system to be more efficient and cover more of our streets. So you're getting involved in a growing field, in a great job, and many of my managers were motor sweeper operators. So people promote out of motor sweeper operator to equipment operator, operating the most complex large pieces of equipment we have, or many of them promote directly to supervisor. And it's interesting, some of my best managers say that their favorite job in the Bureau was being a motor sweeper operator. The last thing I want to say is take pride in your work. Sweep every block like your grandmother lives on that block. You know, people are waiting 2 weeks now. The posted sweeping is down to 2 weeks. We hope to get it back up to 1 week frequency when we're able to staff up. But imagine that somebody's been waiting, and maybe there's a large ficus tree in front of their home or their business, and that ficus tree has been dropping leaves for 2 weeks and berries and things, and they've been watching it accumulate. And they're so excited to see you come. And, you know, in addition to taking pride in your work while you're sweeping, you have to maintain that sweeper. A very important part of this job is the, you know, more than 1 hour a day that you'll spend maintaining your sweeper that you're assigned. Think of it like a Ferrari or a Corvette or a Maserati. It's a $500,000 complex machine. And keeping that sweeper in great working order and looking great will show how proud you are of the work that you're doing. So congratulations to all of you, and I'll be seeing you out there. I follow the sweepers around all the time when I'm out looking at locations.
Wonderful. Thank you for both of you for your kind words. I am now going to recognize the 7 attendees that we have. They're graduates of this program, and I'll say their name. And I think we have 2 of the graduates who agreed just to make a short speech. And so I don't know if they want to have their...
Commissioner Villegas, this is Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Would you like the graduates to turn on their video cams and I can spotlight them for everyone?
Yes, I was just going to say that. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Graduates, if you're on the line, if you can please turn on your video cams, I will go ahead and spotlight you shortly as soon as you turn on your video cams. And Commissioner Villegas, my apologies for interruption. I just wanted to highlight them.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for that. And before we get started, you know, our director, Mose, mentioned that street sweeping is integral to having our clean water program. And just know that the work that you're doing prevents additional chemicals from entering our storm drains, and your work is important for the city of Los Angeles to be compliant with the Clean Water Act. That's how important this is, and there's a method to the craziness that our Los Angeles is, and everyone plays an important role. So that's why this is so important for us. And so with that, I will read everyone's names, and then I'll turn it over to our speakers. All right. Congratulations to the following 7 graduates. We have Mr. Johnny Victor Garcia Jr., Miss Evangelina Garcia, Mr. Melvin Lee Greer, Mr. Bryant A. Mesa, Mr. Rudy Villafana, Mr. Emmanuel J. Mallet Jr., and Mr. Christian R. Ibarra. And I will turn this over to Ms. Evangelina Garcia, and then followed by Mr. Rudy Villafana.
Good morning, and thank you everyone for being here today as we congratulate my fellow colleagues and co-workers on becoming motor sweeper operators. I would like to thank the Bureau for asking me to give this speech this morning on such a special day for me and my colleagues. We finally did it, everyone. All our sacrifices, time away from home, time away from our loved ones, 16 long Saturdays of putting in that hard work. it didn't go unnoticed. Congratulations to all of you. We are now working on a new career path, moving forward to benefit ourselves and our families. I would like to say it took me 3 long years to get here, to wait for this opportunity, and I'm extremely grateful. Every day in the city of LA is a new opportunity, a new learning experience. I have been currently taking 7 LA Trade Tech college classes, and now I have 8 under my belt. I'm currently working on becoming a motor sweeper operator, working my way towards becoming a supervisor, and I would like to thank the Bureau for all these opportunities. My favorite experience with all of you was the morning we passed our final exam. The joy and happiness on everyone's face is a moment I will not forget, just like this moment now, speaking in front of all of you. I would like to thank our instructors for teaching us everything we needed to know with us every step of the way, making sure we all understood, because we're all each different. So thank you to the instructors. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. So all our work has finally paid off and all of our sacrifices. Congratulations to you all, and I look forward to working with you and cleaning one city block at a time. Thank you for your time.
Congratulations. And Mr. Rudy Villafana, the floor is yours.
Good morning to everybody. Great speech, Evangelina. How do you follow up after that?
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you, Rudy.
I would also like to congratulate all of my colleagues and coworkers for the great experience. I also would like to thank the Bureau for all the opportunities it gives us to advance and become better employees to the Bureau and civil servants. Coming into this, I actually doubted myself because it was a big sacrifice for me. I do love to work overtime, and that was one of the things I had to give up. And I also had to give up coaching my son's little league team. Most of the games were on Saturdays. But I know in the long run, it's going to pay off for a better future for my family, my kids, and pushing them more to go to college and the sacrifices that at this age I am taking. I am also currently enrolled in the BSS technical program, and it's been a great opportunity for me to advance, and never thought about taking college classes. I look forward to becoming a motor sweeper to advance in the city with the opportunities that it has given us. I learned a lot. I thank my instructors. I thank my peers. Even though a lot of us don't work together, every Saturday when we would meet, it felt like meeting with your family. We all got to know each other. We all talked. We all learned. I did not realize I had a coworker that lives 5 minutes from me, and Manuel Mesa. And, we would carpool sometimes, which was awesome. I really look forward also to the new hybrid sweepers that Mr. Keith Mose is introducing to us in our class. That is great for the environment. I'm actually currently right now a tree surgeon assistant for the Urban Forestry Department. So it goes kind of hand in hand, helping the environment. But once again, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the Bureau of Street Services for the opportunity it provides us. And I could honestly say, and maybe I speak for a lot of us, that this is one of the best jobs you can ever have. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the time you guys took to make this special for us. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have some other graduates as well that have raised their hand, and we just want to recognize them to say a few words. And we'll start out with Mr. Enrique Estrada, and then followed by Mr. Manuel Mesa.
Hi, Commissioner. Again, this is Fernando Campos. I believe Enrique is being shy, not turning on his video cam, but we do have Abram Navarro and also Melinda Chow. There he is, Enrique. How are ya? We have Abram Navarro. Good. We have Abram Navarro and Melinda Chow. from the Bureau, I will go ahead and open up their line at this time. Abraham. If you can unmute your microphone, there you go. Hi, Abraham.
Yes.
If you can hear us, you have your hand up.
I do. I'm the instructor. Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, President Davis. Good morning, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Calosa, and Commissioner Villegas. I thank you for the support for this program. Also, my thanks to our director, Keith Mose, for his leadership in this effort. I must add that Keith is a graduate of the class of 1991. And today, as we celebrate the completion of one more class, this is the 28th class in the program. The program began in 1984-85, and I was very fortunate to work in the design and implementation of the first class. As we celebrate the graduation of the fall of 2021, composed of 19 proud students, the total number of graduates is 712. This class will not be possible without the gigantic support of Ms. Madeline Smith, our former program director. To her, my most sincere thanks for her patience and spirit of collaboration all of these years. My thanks also go to the Melinda Cho and her team for providing the administrative support. Her team is composed of Q Min and Ms. Martina Ruiz, our current program coordinator. To the family members of each student that sacrificed all those Saturdays, my thanks. And of course, a team of dedicated field instructors, they are in the front line. And as we know, the current health and safety conditions added an additional logistical challenge of having all the instruction take place outdoors. But our field instructors not only met the challenge, they went on to update their knowledge and skills for the purpose of implementing strategies and methodologies that facilitated dynamic participation of the students while we were outside. Our field instructors are Steve Jacobellis, Hans Duran, Leticia Garnica, Roberta Longino, Nikia Drinkard, Jeffrey Harris. And when we needed, we received the help of the substitute instructors, Latrice Lewis and Phyllis Langston. We also have the support of the Raiders, Brent Jones, Ray Villalobos, Michael Cox. My thanks to all for your commitment and dedication. In closing, as I congratulate each student for his or her perseverance and discipline to learn and apply the operation procedures and maintenance practices, I remind the graduates that this certificate of completion comes with 3 areas of responsibility. Number 1, safety in all actions. Number 2, professional maintenance attitude, while performing the daily lubrication and adjustments in order to minimize the downtime. And lastly, responsiveness. Now that you are a part of the street cleaning family, you will be called to participate in the program as a motor sweeper operator substitute. My congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think, Fernando, we still have 2 more of our graduates that want to speak.
None for the graduates. We have Melinda
Okay.
Chow from the Bureau of Street Services that has her hand raised.
Hi, good morning, commissioners. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all the graduates. I understand that we actually have 19 graduates, and I believe Antonio Viramontes is also present. I'm not sure if he's still on the line, but I did hear him announce himself earlier. So if you can put him on the spotlight, that would be great. But I also want to make sure that all 19 graduates' names actually get read aloud, besides the 7 that we have present at this time. I'm not sure if you guys have everyone's names. If not, I can read them all out.
I have them if you like me.
Linda, go ahead and read them out loud. We recognize those that were able to come today, but it's proper for us to also recognize the ones that aren't able to join us today.
Okay. The first one is Trevor Charles Fagan. He actually graduated as part of the summer 2021 class, but was not able to join us last time. And then also we have Taylor A. Alexander, Marcus P. Andrade, David O. Avilas, Alberto Camargo, Cesar Diaz, Raul Avalos Lopez, Oscar Cruz Miguel, Juan Torres, and Antonio Viramontes. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of them. All right. Well, I think that concludes our graduation recognition for today. Please take some time and celebrate this occasion. Tremendous job accomplished. Thank you. I'll turn it back to our acting president, Garcia.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Hang on, graduates. I'm sure our commissioners also want to share some words with you. Dr. Campos, although I see Abraham Navarro with his hands up, I don't know if he's a graduate of yours, Keith?
I am the instructor.
Oh, you're the instructor. Okay. And then Mr. Manuel Mesa, did you want to say something? I know I saw your hand up and then down, back again. Not trying to put you on the spot. Just it's yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank everybody for helping out. I want to thank Mr. Navarro, Kim Jose, all the instructors, the raiders, and people that work in the office too, as Martina Reese. As now I'm working on the street right now. We're paving the street. I hope tomorrow I'll be sweeping the street. And yeah, it's a dream come true. I mean, I started at Target Local Hire, and there's no limit, you know. I'm just keep on going forward. That's about it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Congratulations.
You're welcome.
I don't. Keith, you want to say last parting words?
Yeah, I'll just say Abraham Navarro's a 40-year former employee, assistant director of Streets LA, and he's still giving back, you know, to Streets LA. It's in his blood. He's maybe it's a Marine in him. I'm not sure, but he was my instructor, you know, back in the 90s. And so, yeah, I'll say thank you, April. I'll let you taught me over the years. And that was it.
Wow, Abraham. Wow, your track record is impressive, to be honest. So thank you for all your 40 years that you dedicated to our city and our street services. So thank you very much. We hope to keep you for 40 more, okay? So I don't know how you're going to make that happen.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm going to pass it along to my colleagues to see if... Greg, do you want to share anything else before we have our commissioners give the last words? You're good? All right. I'll start with Commissioner Calosa.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and just what a nice day to start the morning. I'm just sad that we couldn't have done this in person and to see everyone, but I know that you're all making time to do this even as you are doing double duty, you know, on the streets, doing repaving, as we heard, doing cleaning right now, and, you know, the work that you all do as motor sweeper operators impacts everyone's quality of life, right? Whether you're a resident, whether you work in LA, or whether you're visiting LA. It's one of the first things that people see and acknowledge, and it's something that makes our city more beautiful. And that's because of all the blood, sweat, and tears that you put in your work. And so I'm just grateful and want to thank, of course, the leadership at Streets LA, especially our general manager, Keith Mose, for all the investment that we continue to make in our most valuable asset, which is our people, and that's all of you. And it's something that I hope you all continue to pay it forward. I hope that as you graduated from your program, when you see the opportunity for this class, this opportunity come up again, that you encourage more of your colleagues to also participate and to apply, because we need more people cleaning our streets. We know that it's something, as we heard, we're going to continue to make more and more investments as we host more sporting events, as we host other games, as we saw, we just hosted the Super Bowl, and you all played a big role in that, so thank you as well. I saw the amazing photos of the Streets LA team cleaning up after the Super Bowl parties and festivities. Everyone shows up to the party, but everyone forgets you have to clean after, right? And that's what Streets LA does. And so just thank you for all your hard work. And lastly, I'll just conclude in telling all the graduates, and there's this quote that I really enjoy from Wolfgang Puck. He has this documentary about his life and his story as an immigrant and how he became an entrepreneur here in LA. But one of the things that he mentions in this documentary is that, people always think the grass is greener on the other side. But the grass is greener where you water it. And that's what you did in this program, is you're watering your grass and seeing the fruits of your labor. And so we're here to support you, to uplift you, and want you to be successful in your City of LA career. So congratulations. And we're just so proud that you're part of the Public Works family. So congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Dr. Davis, you're on mute though. Dr. Davis, unmute.
Thank you, Madam President. And I want to, first of all, start out to recognize the leadership of our Director of Street Services, as well as our supervisor over this specific program. And I want to congratulate them for beginning to conduct this program in the midst of all of the financial challenges we have with COVID. Their persistence and determination is very critical in these very important times. And I want to congratulate Evangelina and Rudy and all of those who are participants in the program who spoke today. I think that you live in a city and you ought to be able to create opportunities to be able to work in that city. And you have been able to do that. We owe you an opportunity to be employed for this city. But I think what I like most about today is the reference that Mr. Spots made about taking pride in your work, because you work for probably the second largest street services department in the country, in the United States of America. And the work that you do can be recognized very clearly. It can be measured when you go in and improve streets on a very regular basis, if not on a daily basis. When you leave, it makes a difference. And Greg Spots referred to that. I think that you need to know that the work you do has been nationally prominent, particularly in the civil rights movement, when Dr. King was coming along and talking to people who had not had an opportunity to work in governments before. He said to them that to get these jobs now that we're opening them up, it is important. And again, as Mr. Spot said, we must take pride in it. And so I just end my comments on the specific comments that Dr. King made during that period of time. And he simply said, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all of the host of heaven and earth will pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. So I say to you, congratulations. And I know that, as I have heard you, that you will take your job seriously and that you will do well in your job. And I am certainly hoping each and every one of you will continue to grow and develop in street services particularly, but in general in public works. So thank you, and again, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. And Commissioner Villegas, any last parting words for our group today?
Thank you. I appreciate everybody's comments today. I don't want to belabor this much longer. I hope everybody's able to celebrate, with their families, sometime today. And I wish you all the very best in your long careers with the city. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. And I don't mind the time on this because this is really special for us. And so as long as it takes to recognize our folks and to understand, to show the immense of work that they've invested in themselves. And I say this all the time, the work that you invest in yourself for the betterment of yourself equals the betterment of your families, equals the betterment of the generations to come in your family. So congratulations for that you took the time to invest in yourself, and nobody can take this away from you. Those 16 Saturdays that you did this for yourself, the education you received, and the friendships you made during those 16 Saturdays nobody can take that away from you. And so, like our leader, Keith Mose, you've seen him grow. You've seen him, since 1991, and now he's at the top of that. There's a lot of mobility within our city. We are the second largest city in the nation. We are the second largest department within our city. So you all play a very important and integral part every day. I get very I'm not so much of a sentimental person, but when I see folks improving their lives, it just really touches my heart. So congratulations to you, to your wives, to your husbands, to your kids. You missed Rudy, you missed one season of being a coach, but now you're gonna be like the best coach ever for the rest of his life. So I just want to say that this was an important part, and I'm glad you all did it, took your time, and now we're here. Congratulations to you all. Take pride, and I'm happy that you're all going to move into this hybrid world that we're all moving into. You are all going to be the pioneers for that. We might be able to celebrate it and show it off, but you will be the ones using it and cleaning our streets with those machines. And you'll know that machine more than anyone. And so you'll have so much knowledge within you, and we appreciate that. And with that, congratulations. Take time to feel proud. Take time to reflect on the good that you've done for yourself and for your kids and for your families, and just know that we're here to support you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Bureau of Street Services, for bringing this to our board. Oh, sad to see you guys go. Hello, Keith and Greg, for bringing this. And Linda, thank you for making sure we recognize everybody that participated in that. With that, Bureau of Street Services, you guys go. All right, commissioners, how do we follow all that? Now that we have to do all this admin stuff. All right, well, we're going to lead us on to item number 1 of today's agenda. And this is an item, we're good to move on, right, Dr. Campos? I just want to confirm.
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. Again, Street Services. This is item number 1 on today's agenda. This is the Bureau of Engineering. This is in Council District 12. It's a revised task order solicitation number 11 and budget increase to Tetra Tech Inc. Also Creek Limekiln, I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right. Limekiln Creek Restoration Project. You're going to have to help me on that one, John. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the city engineer to issue a revision on task order number 11 to Tetra Tech to increase the budget authority from $256,936 to $882,306, including contingency for design service and design support services during the bid and award at the construction phases for the Aliso Creek Limekiln Creek Restoration Project. Okay, Mr. Selvin, tell us what you're doing.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Commissioner and Commissioners. John Saldine with the Bureau of Engineering. We are requesting authorization to increase the budget of Task Order 11 for design services for Aliso Creek Lime Kiln Creek Restoration Project. The design consultant is Tetra Tech. This project is one of our remaining Proposition O projects. It is located in Northridge at the junction of Aliso and Lime Kiln Creeks. The project consists of constructing stormwater best management practices to help reduce contamination in those creeks and in the Los Angeles River. The proposed improvements include stormwater diversion, a pump station, screening, and vegetated detention and retention basins. The project was approved for Proposition O funding back in 2014. The original project budget was $10.9 million. Unfortunately, the project was delayed by several issues, including agreements with Los Angeles County and the Department of Recreation and Parks, some design modifications, updated building code requirements, higher construction costs, and for obtaining a project budget increase. In April 14th of last year, the City Council approved an increase in the project budget from $10.9 million to $16.1 million. As indicated in this report, the original task order for design services was issued in 2015 under TOS 40 in the amount of $966,000, and the design services were extended under TOS 11 in 2017. To summarize the budget for both TOS 40 and TOS 11, this board action would increase the cumulative budget for design services by some $600,000 to $1.59 million. And regarding this current TOS 11, after the project budget was increased by City Council last year, we have worked with Tetra Tech to define the design and budget needed to complete the project, including the scope and permitting changes. This board item will increase the TOS 11 budget by $625,000 to $882,000 to finalize the design and provide design support during the bid and award and construction phases. Finally, Tetra Tech is pledging business inclusion participation by Project Line, Nino and Moore, and the Robert Group, including MBE, WBE, SBE, and EBE participation. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Appreciate that. Colleagues, I'll start with Dr. Davis. Any questions for John Sullivan? Unmute. Still
Sorry about that.
No problem.
No questions except for in terms of the time period of this motion and the work. Could you give me an indication of what that is, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, and part of this item is due to delays in completing this project. It was originally, like is indicated, it was originally approved for funding back in 2014. And moving ahead, we want to finalize the design this current year.
Okay.
And I have to check at my schedule, but there's a 2-year construction schedule starting next year is what we're looking at.
So we're talking about, this is 2022, we're talking about a projected completion date of 2024, somewhere therein. Is that correct?
Yes, that is.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Madam
I'm
Chair.
sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Davis. So I said I'm getting my years mixed up. So completing the design in 2022 and then 2 years for finishing construction, which takes us to the end of 2024. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. Just a quick question. So this project, and excuse me for asking, this project was started in 2014, and it's taken us till 2022 to get the completed design. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. It was funded in 2014. The first TOS was issued in 2015, and yeah, this has been a bit of an issue for this project is delays. Yes, you're correct?
Why?
Commissioner? Well, and I will even indicate that the project was currently under Andy Flores project management, and since many of these years have gone by, I became the project. I became supervising of the project only after Andy retired in 2019. So my history on this project is actually a little bit. It's not as strong as it could be, but during the years, one of the things that I understand is that the agreements with the LA County Flood Control District was somewhat problematic and somewhat difficult to finalize, as well as the memorandum of agreement with the Department of Recreation and Parks. It's my understanding that some of these agreements have extended the duration, and some of them are very hard. Getting these agreements through the highest levels of government can take, it can take over a year or two. And anyway, that is my understanding that those agreements alone have delayed the project, as well as COVID, as well as budget and the need to increase the project budget, and and sometimes the longer that you take, then there's other issues that come up. So I would have to say it's kind of a bit of a sad story, long sad story, Commissioner.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. It's just that when I see something started in 2014, I see all the needed permits. Obviously, those are agencies that do take some time, but they're not the Army Corps of Engineers time frame, because those usually take longer. And so that was why I was asking. And I'm just hoping that, this project can get underway and can get to construction phase. I'm sure the community is, probably, moved if there was any outreach done in the past. But I'm sure the community is, wanting to see something like this come to fruition. That's, it just seems like it's a long length of time, but thank you for providing that context. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. And lastly, Commissioner Pelosa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for your report, Mr. Saldin. I don't have any questions. I think my colleagues asked really helpful questions to get additional context. And I think as we start to see other projects taken over, especially from people who have retired or left during the SIP, this will be some of the issues that we may encounter, just trying to find that history and that background, right? And trying to pass on the institutional knowledge. So thank you, Mr. Saldin, for sharing what you're able to on this project, and glad it's continuing to move forward. So that's it for me. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I agree. We're probably seeing a lot of picking up of projects, right? So thank you, Mr. Saldin, for bringing it forward now, and we're here now. So thank you for that. All right. Is there a motion to move this item forward, colleagues?
Moved.
Second.
Got it. Dr. Campos, there's a motion on the table by Commissioner Calosa, second by Dr. Davis. Should we take roll call?
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and start the voting tabulation with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa,
Aye.
and Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move this forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Saldin.
Hey.
Good luck on the project. Have a good week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, colleagues. Now that takes us to item number 2 on today's item of business. However, Dr. Campos, I was told we have a caller on the line for item number 2.
That is correct, Madam Chair. There was one caller on the line for item number 2. We were expecting a second caller, and I believe that caller may be on the line. Again, if you are here from the general public and would like to speak on item number 2, the Board of Public Works is scheduled to consider item number 2. If you'd like to provide general public comment on this item number 2, if you can please raise your hand by pressing *9 or clicking the raise hand icon if you're joining us through the Zoom application.
Great.
Madam Chair, that is confirmed. We have three callers on the line for item number 2.
Okay, let's take the callers first, and then we'll go into the item.
Sure. Should we read the item into the record?
I can do that, or we can just do the callers. What do you think? let's
go ahead and read the item into the record, and then we can take the callers.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. This is item number 2. This is in Council District 11. This is a tree removal on address 592 and 594 North Tiger Tail Road, recommending the board to 1, find that this project is categorically exempt under Article 3, Section 1, Class 3, Category 1, and Class 32 infill of the city's Environmental Quality Act guidelines, and there is no substantial evidence the proposed project will have significant effect on the environment and is in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. 2, recommending the board to find that none of the exceptions to the use of categorical exemption as set forth in Section 15300.2 of State SICA guidelines apply. 3, specify that the Bureau of Street Services Urban Forestry Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or other material that constitute the record of proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And 4, review and approve the request for the fee permit to remove 8 coast live oak, I'm not going to say that other word, trees. Tree replacements are required. All right, so we'll take the callers and then we'll go on with our presentation. Dr. Campos?
Sure, thank you, Madam Chair. Caller ending in 688. Caller ending in 688. If you can please unmute your microphone by pressing *6 at this time. You will have 2 minutes to speak on item number 2. Please go ahead.
Fernando, could you please put me last? I'm sorry.
Sure, no worries. Let me go ahead and take the next caller then. Caller ending in 998. Caller ending in 998. If you can please press *6 at this time to unmute your microphone. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 2. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Tony Russo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. This is Tony Russo. I represent the client for the project located at 592 and 594 Tiger Tail. I'm here for any questions or comments that the board may have, or any of the callers. We have been corresponding with the callers as well as other people in the community to make sure that the proposed removals were justified and the explanations were made clear. So again, just happy to answer any questions that anyone has. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll go back to you, Ms. Nicole, caller ending in 688. If you can please unmute your microphone. You'll have 2 minutes to speak under item number 2. Please go ahead. Hi, caller ending in 688. Caller ending in 688. Your audio is coming very choppy. If you can please unmute your microphone at this time by pressing *6. There you go. Let's try this again, Diane.
Apologies. Diana Nicole here, board members, commissioners. I hold a degree in horticulture science, and I'm a practicing ecological landscape professional. I actually plant, and I actually care for and maintain native trees. I just want to say that it's getting really tedious seeing repeated reports with these 2 items on them. Horticulturally and biologically unsound tree removal mitigation plans, like the one we have here, which is calling for a planting scheme to plant large boxed trees. And the second thing is seeing these reports that say that the trees are fair or in poor condition. I reviewed this, and I reviewed the trees, and I am an expert, and that's just not true. So we're seeing this again. I assume that that's because the projects want us all to feel better about cutting down mature oak trees that are healthy. Otherwise, I'm not sure why we constantly see that. But I want to just say that I'm not being heard clearly, because I've been before this board with the same information and concerns about these horticulturally unsound mitigation plans. So I have a message this time from PhD Linda Chalker-Scott, who is also the editor for the Western chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture, who recommends planting the smallest tree possible. And in the case of oak trees, the 34-inch and the 48-inch box trees are not recommended. It's a horticulturally unsound planting plan. I don't have time to go into why that is, to give you the background information, but that's what the experts say, including myself. And I want to make sure that you understand that this is done, unfortunately, with unsuspecting neighbors who think that they're getting something better than they would have with the city's 24-inch and 15-gallon size, and they're not. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Chair, that clears the queue for comments on item number 2.
Thank you. Thank you to the callers as well. All right, who is our presenter for this item? Is Mr. Buñuelos?
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Vice President Garcia, Commissioners. My name is Hector Bañuelos. I'm superintendent here with the Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. And what we have before us is a request for a fee permit to remove 8 coast live oak trees at 592 and 594 North Tiger Tail Road in the Council District 11 in the community of Brentwood. The project here includes construction of 2 single-family residences, a 3-story and a 2-story residences measuring approximately 16,355 square feet and 4,549 square feet, respectively. There are 12 oak trees, coast live oak trees, located within proximity of the construction site. And due to required grading and other soil stability measures, there are 8 trees that will be severely impacted and require removal in order to construct the 2 homes. The sites measure approximately 54,090 square feet and 26,156 square feet. There is also an area just on the northeast section here of the properties here that are approximately about 30 or probably more native oak trees and vegetation that are going to be undisturbed and shall remain in place. If the request is approved, the applicant has proposed to plant 10 24-inch box size, 6 36-inch box size, and 4 48-inch box size coast live oak trees at the 592 North Tiger Tail Road site, and 6 24-inch box size, and 4 36 box size, and 2 48-inch box size trees at the 594 North Tiger Tail addresses. The trees shall be guaranteed, shall be watered for a minimum 3-year period, and their survival shall be guaranteed by a bond. The Community Forestry Advisory Committee, the Department of Empowerment, and the Key Council District 11 were notified of the tree removal permit request. The division did receive a correspondence from Council District 11 indicating that the council member was opposed to the project initially. However, the Urban Forestry Division and the applicant, we did meet. We met on several occasions with the applicant as well, and discussing the needs to remove trees and trying to look for ways to, keep at least as many trees as we could. However, due to the required grading, soil stability measures, and other site preparations that are needed to construct the homes, the trees will be negatively impacted, and just doesn't appear to be any feasible alternatives available to keep the 8 trees in place. And so the council office was informed of this, and so as of today, I did not hear back from the council office. So I really don't know if they are still opposed or either in opposition or in support of the project. And so that concludes my presentation for today. I'm here to address any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Hector. Appreciate that. We'll start with Commissioner Calosa. Any questions on this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for your presentation, Mr. Banuelos. Thank you also for those who dialed in. Maybe if we can just have the representative from the applicant. I believe Dr. Campos, you said they're on the line.
Yes, they are. Caller 998, if you can please unmute your microphone. The Board of Public Works has a question for you. Oh, click *6. There you go.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, and could you just please restate your name? I wasn't able to catch it earlier.
Yeah, this is Tony Rousseau, representative of the client.
Got it. So, Tony, can you just briefly share and give us a summary of how you've been working with the neighbors and the community? I know you briefly mentioned it earlier when you dialed in, but can you just share what work the applicant and you have done so far?
No, yeah. So this project has been going on for quite some time. We initially had a CEQA review with the Department of City Planning over a year ago. That concluded. Well, we had a haul route that was part of that environmental review. That haul route was approved last year, I think over a year ago today. And during that process, we met with the council office as well as many neighbors on site at least once to review the project, the full extent, and including some conditions in the haul route approval. We were actually able to get the support of the neighbors. After the haul route was approved, we then obviously went through the urban forestry process to try and work through, to get to this hearing. And we had extensive conversations with CD11's planning deputy, as well as the CPAC member who's designated to this region, to fully explain the reasons behind this request, to go over the soils report, to go over the project itself, and really identify why this case is different and why this case is justified for its tree removal. During those discussions, we also, as mentioned, proposed different levels of replacement in terms of box sizes. I know the previous caller mentioned, having smaller trees versus larger trees, and we did take that into consideration. So the replacements for the larger trees are on flatter plains that have more space to accommodate the larger box sizes, and then our replacements that have smaller box sizes are located where it is steeper or less ideal, and where smaller trees could fit and grow. So it made sense for us to have that sort of sliding scale to accommodate more trees of larger size at the onset. We believe that was a smart compromise, if you will, with the city, the council office, and CPAC. So, our haul route was approved again over a year ago. We've taken many steps to work with the appropriate city officials and community members to make sure that this was well explained, well understood, and I think that's why today you have a staff report in support of the removals and the replacement trees. So we look forward to the board also supporting the project. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mr. Rousseau. And so just to clarify, you didn't after you met with stakeholders and different elected offices, you didn't have any opposition to your project moving forward?
Correct. We didn't have any opposition from the council office or the CPAC committee member that was designated for this area. That is correct.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for reaching out to the CPAC representative. I know we're always trying to figure out ways to continue to incorporate in their feedback, and that's helpful to know that you did that outreach early on. And there was obviously, of course, a little some comment on experts involved with making these assessments. I know there's reference to the arborist, Ms. Lisa Smith. Can you just briefly share with us, is she a registered arborist? Can you just share some of her
Correct.
qualifications? I know it's in the board report, but
Yeah.
it,
For sure. Yeah. So she's a registered consulting arborist and meets the qualifications outlined in the latest, protected tree ordinance, up to the standards of urban forestry and the city. And she's been, an arborist in the city for decades, doing these reports, working with the city officials, and has an extreme level of experience, not just qualified, but practical experience day to day over the many years, trying to navigate the world of protected trees and, these reports. Additionally, with regard to the soils report, our soils engineer is a licensed engineer, and their reports were reviewed and approved by the Department of Grading, Building and Safety. And, there was plenty of back and forth and understanding regarding why the remediation and slope trimming efforts needed to occur for the site, for not just the protection of our site, but for the protection of nearby sites as well. Everyone's licensed and qualified, and those recommendations are included in Ms. Smith's report to justify the removals. And that's also what was explained to the council office and feedback and various other constituents.
thank you, Mr. Russo. That's helpful. And just one last question for me before I yield the rest of my time to my colleagues, to Mr. Banuelos, is what you heard here from Mr. Russo. Just wanted to confirm that you agree with what you just testified, and that you aren't aware of any other opposition to this, and that he's made a good faith effort to clear any issues in advance of today.
Yes, yes. I've met with the applicant. I've also indicated I've met with the council office deputies, at least and had discussions with them more than 2 times. Right? Probably about 3 times I've had discussions with council deputies in regard to this project. And so we've been going a little bit of back and forth, providing additional details as to why trees may be removed. And so I did reach out to council office, as a matter of fact, as late as yesterday, asking to see if they have any thing to add on our latest or previous discussions, and to get their position as to the request. Right? So I did not receive a response back from the council office, so I really don't know if they're still opposed to the project. They were previously, but after we've provided additional details to the deputy, they were briefing the council member, and I do not know, or did not receive a response. So I really don't know if the council member is still opposed to the project or in support of the project. So at this time, I don't know. But I did advise them that the item was being heard today, and I reminded them that it was going to be heard today. And so that if they had any comments, they may either tell me, or they can present at the board also, and provide some comments to the board.
So, Mr. Banuelos, just go ahead.
Sorry, this is Tony Russo again. I think I'd like to add that we met with Len Nguyen, the planning deputy, who, in his opinion, when he reviewed everything, all our replacements, I mean, this is the person that we've been discussing with, kind of the modified replacement for the trees, for the protected tree removals, and increasing the sizes as best we can. In his opinion, he didn't have any opposition. Mr. Banuelos is correct. He did mention for our last conversation that he was going to discuss it with the council member, but him being the planning deputy said that he believes that what we had provided him was sufficient, although we haven't received a official confirmation from his boss, more or less, the councilman, that the position has changed from his end. However, the planning deputy did make it appear as if what we had done was sufficient to satisfy the council office's concern. So I just want to make that a little bit more clear.
Okay. Thank you for adding. I don't think I have any more questions at this time. Curious to hear what my colleagues asked on this. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Dr. Davis, any questions on this item?
I guess we are communicating with the council office to see if in fact we can get some effective answer from them in terms of what their current position is. I heard the initial reference to the fact that some of the oak trees might be able to be saved. Is that right, Mr. Manuelos? Is that possible?
No, not of the 8. No, there are other 4 trees within relatively close proximity to the construction that are going to be retained. They're going to be protected in place. In addition to that, there is an area just in the northeast section of the property, about 30, perhaps more than 30 native trees and vegetation that are going to remain undisturbed and remain in place. That area, there's no numbers, real hard numbers on the amount of trees and the species because it's inaccessible, it's very steep and very heavily vegetated. But yeah, there's of the 8 trees, none of them can be preserved.
I'm so sorry that I didn't hear all of what you said earlier, and I'm sorry to have to ask you to repeat it, but when I'm hearing some other noise, I don't know, I guess we need to, Dr. Campos, kind of mute somebody on the line, but in terms of the council office's response as to why they were initially hesitant about supporting it, they said what again? Before you had to explain to them the details of the project. What was it that they initially said to you?
They were opposed to the project. They didn't give me details as to why. They just stated I received correspondence from the council deputy that the council member was opposed to the project and did give me details as to whether it was a project or whether it was the removal of the trees or all.
And that was going to be my question. So yeah, so it's very unclear about this opposition.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, you know, I don't know what to say at this point in time. We talked about globally putting together a system that included Rachel so that we can go through some protocols to help us arrive at some better decision. I don't know when we're going to get this thing off the ground, but it's not easy work that you do, Mr. Manuela, so we all recognize that here at the board. That's the end of my inquiry at this point.
Yeah, and just for the record, I did meet with Rachel. I did brief Rachel on the. I briefed Rachel on all the tree removal permit requests before they are presented to the board.
Okay, so Rachel is on board then after having understood the details of the motion and the issues that we're dealing with.
She concurs with our recommendations. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. And thank you for the callers that called in. Thank you, Ms. Renuelos, for your report. I appreciate the comments from my colleagues just to shed a little bit more light and context on the issue. I don't have any questions. I've been able to review this project and understand, what's going on. Again, colleagues, this is the last and, final approval that these projects need before they go under construction. These are, projects that, we're taking a look at and in reviewing, and planning does know that, these types of issues should be taken into consideration sooner rather than later, but it is still a process. And this project is obviously by right. It's already been acquired by the landowner, and they've already gone through the entire process for the city. I don't have any problem moving this project forward. I can make that as a motion.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Villegas. I agree with you, by the way, also, and I don't have a problem moving it forward as well. What I would suggest, though, because it's still a little unclear on whether council district, is opposed or not. Dr. Campos, would it be okay if we do not do it forthwith and then have a couple days for the council office to chime in if they need to?
Absolutely, Madam Chair. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. If your board wishes not to move this item forward forthwith, then this item would stay on the table until the next meeting, which would be Friday, February 25th. At the adjournment of that meeting, if the item is not reconsidered or recalled by any of the commissioners, then the item would be considered approved at the adjournment of the February 25th meeting.
Okay. Colleagues, are you okay with doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if anybody, Commissioner Villegas, if you want to bring it back forward on, you can connect with Dr. Campos to make sure that happens. If not, it will be closed by Friday in the meeting.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I'll work with, street services just to, close the loop with the council office as well, so we can have clear communication.
Agreed. Thank you so much for that. Okay, we'll move it that way then. It was a motion by Commissioner Villegas, second by myself. Any objections, colleagues? Hearing none, we'll move this item forward. Not forthwith.
Not forthwith. And Madam Chair, would you like to go ahead and take the voting tabulation at this time for the record?
Yes, please.
Great. And this is to adopt item number 2, subject to the conditions indicated in the report, not forthwith. And we'll go ahead and start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Caloza.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous.
Great. Thank you. Thank you also for the callers that called in, and Mr. Buñuelos and the representative of the developer for answering our questions. And so stay tuned for Friday, whether we move forward or, we bring it back to the table again. All right, everyone, have a good week. Thank you, Mr. Buñuelos. All right, colleagues, this takes us now to item number 3. This item is in Council District 9, 14, and 15. This is a deductive change order and change of fund source deletion of Metro Blue Line improvements and highway rail grade crossing improvements from the contract Los Angeles Department of Transportation. Recommending the board to 1, authorize the general manager of the Los Angeles Department of Transportation to delete the Metro Blue Line improvements and the highway rail grade crossings improvements from the contract and use another funding source to pay for the exploratory work and traffic signal equipment that was ordered. 2, authorize the general manager of LADOT to issue a deductive change order as discussed in this report. And 3, approve the revised funding amount for the Metro Blue Line improvements and the HRGC improvements project to reduce the contract and contingency of $6,022,896 and $1,128,501 respectively for the project. Mr. Varghese is here to tell us what you're doing. Mr. Varghese?
Good morning, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Villegas, Commissioner Caloza, and Commissioner Davis. My name is John Varghese. I'm a senior transportation engineer with the Department of Transportation. On October 2019, the board authorized the award of contract for the construction of the Vision Zero Phase 2B Metro Blue Line improvements, the highway rail grade crossing improvements, and I-5 corridor transportation improvements. The Metro Blue Line improvements and the HRGC, or the highway rail grade crossing improvements, included work at 4 signalized railroad crossings. The work included replacement of traffic signal controllers, installation of conduits, cables, pull boxes, poles, to enhance the operation of the intersection. The Metro Blue Line improvements and the HRGC improvements required approvals from the California Public Utilities Commission and the Union Pacific Railroad Company. Since these approvals would take a longer time than anticipated, it was decided to delete the bid items pertaining to these improvements. The main reason for that was we wanted to avoid any potential claims from the contractor for delay of work. The contractor had done some exploratory work and ordered traffic signal equipment, which will be returned to LADOT and used on other projects. The exploratory work and traffic signal equipment in the amount of $380,000 will be paid using MICLA Fund 298. The Metro Blue Line improvements project and the HRGC improvements projects are front funded by Measure R and the LADOT Transportation Grant Fund, respectively, in the amount of $1,069,000. The contractor has agreed to these deletions. These improvements will be included as part of a future contract after we get the approvals from CPUC and UPRR. This concludes my report.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Verghese. And Ms. Shetalai, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think it's John said it. This is part of the project was in 3 parts. So we finished the first part, the second part, and this is the third part of that. And in the end, we realized that, again, part of it is the permit process. I heard it I think it was the first presentation, that sometimes the permit process takes such a long time and this is the railroad process. So we had prepared for everything. We bought everything. We did exploratory work, and then when it was time to actually meet up with CPUC and all that stuff, and then they said, well, you guys didn't get all these permits. And I go, oh, well, I thought we had everything. So that's the reason why, that's why it took us so long in the end. We didn't anticipate not doing the work. Our gear was to do the work, and now we can't do the work, and so now we have to pay the contractor for the work that they did, and so this is the reason why we're moving money around to make sure that they get paid for their portion of work, and the city is accountable for that. So,
Got it. Thank you for the additional context. Appreciate it. All right, colleagues, any questions on this item? We'll start with Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. I appreciate the report. I don't have any questions. I like just the additional context as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Davis?
No questions for me. Pretty self-explanatory. Thank you.
Okay. And Commissioner Calosa?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions either. Thanks for your report, and to the DOT team for being here today. Thank you.
Agreed. I don't have any questions. We fully understand how this happens, and we understand the notion too that this can be sometimes a surprise element. So, with that said, is there a motion on the table to move this item forward?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Villegas. Any objections, colleagues? I don't have any objections either. All right. Well, hearing that, Dr. Campos, we have a motion on the table by Dr. Davis, second by Commissioner Villegas. Should we take roll call?
We will go ahead and start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move item number 3 forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, DOT team, for being here. Appreciate it. It's now set, and you can move along with your project. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners, and thank you, Dr. Campos.
Great. Have a good week.
You too. Bye.
All right, colleagues. We're moving on along. This takes us now to item number 4, right? We are on item number 4. This is a budget increase for all council districts and an amendment to number 5 to personal services contract responsible biosolids management. Recommending the board to 1, approve and forward this report with transmittals to the mayor and city council with the request that the Board of Public Works be authorized to execute amendment number 5 to the personal services contract with responsible biosolids management to add COVID-19 vaccination requirements, increase the contract cost ceiling from 179.57 million to 237.27 million, with the special funding from the Sewer Operations and Maintenance Fund, and extend the term of the contract beyond the current expiration date of November 14, 2022, for an additional 3 years, and add 1 3-year renewal option for the loading, transporting, and beneficial use of the city biosolids. And 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract amendment upon approval from the mayor and city council. All right, Mr. Alan Tran, can you tell us what you're doing? That was a lot.
Good morning, the board, Vice President Garcia, board commissioners, and executive officer. My name is Alan Tran with LA Sanitation and Environment. With me today is Emmanuel Allo. We are here today to present the Responsible Biosolids Management Amendment number 5, and we call them as the RBM. RBM contract is for loading, transporting, and land application of the biosolid at Green Acre Farm. The Green Acre Farm is the city property in Kern County. About 65% of the total biosolid production, equivalent to 450 wet tons per day, has been transported and land applied at Green Acre Farm by RBM. The biosolid is used as fertilizer for farming operation. The current contract amendment number 4 was executed on November 15, 2014, and it will expire on November 14, 2022. In regarding to the MBE, WBE, OBE subcontractor pledge participation, we achieved about 18.3% WBE, 0.18% MBE, and 28.1% OBE. The extension of the current contract will allow the city to continue the land application of the biosolid at the farm. RBM has shown it is the most reliable contractor and has complied with all federal, state, local regulation requirements. RBM has remained as the lowest cost option to the city biosolid program. Last but not least, the extension will provide us, the city, time to finalize the sustainable long-term plan for the operation at Green Acre Farm before we distribute the RFP for implementing a contract that incorporates requirements of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act regulation. Therefore, it is recommended that the personal service agreement with RBM for loading, transporting, and beneficial use of the city biosolid be amended. The new term for this amendment will be 3 years with 1 3-year renewal option at the city discretion. The ceiling cost of the contract will increase to $237 million. This increased by $57 million. As for the WBE subcontractor participation, the pledge percentage will be increased to 22% by the end of amendment number 5 term. This contract will be funded by the special funded sewer operation and maintenance fund. Therefore, there is no impact on the general fund. And this concludes my presentation, and thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Tran. I appreciate your presentation. Mr. Allo, anything you want to add to today's presentation?
Nothing at this time. I think Alan Tran pretty much covered it all.
Got
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. All right, colleagues, any questions? We'll start with Commissioner Calosa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for your presentation, Mr. Tran. I guess one of the questions that I have is obviously the length of time that this contract has existed. We've been utilizing the same contractor for hauling and application of these biosolids for 26 years. Can you just explain why LA Sand keeps adding an amendment to this instead of going out to a new RFP?
Yes, thank you for your question. Okay, so from 2006 to 2016, the city involved in the Measure E litigation with the Kern County. And during that time, RBM and other biosolid contractors were joined with the city to fight against that measure. and it was the city best interest to maintain the co-plaintiff relationship status quo based on the advice from the city attorney office. So that's why we keep amending the contract. And this time, we already prepare and get the RP adopted back in 2020. However, we did not release the adopted RFP because we have to revise the Green Eco Farm Sustainability Long-Term Plan, which is a part of the RFP, to address two issues. First one is the future water uses will be limited at Green Eco Farm because of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act regulation. The second issue is like we've seen the potential collaboration opportunity between two LA Sand Division, Hyperion and the Solid Resources Support Service Division, for processing the city biosolid and the city green waste at Green Acre Farm. That's the reason why we need time for us to finalize the plan before we can distribute the RP.
Okay, maybe I'm still not understanding why we were locked into sticking with the same contractor for this, but you know, I understand that you're still trying to finalize the, you know, some of the elements of, and I'm sorry, Mr. Allo, if you can just please mute, please. I think there's just, I can hear, it's hard to hear. I think there's some paper shuffling. Thank you. Some elements, you said you're a transition to you're finalizing elements of a sustainability plan, or can you just repeat what you mentioned? I couldn't hear earlier.
Oh, yes, so we are trying to finalizing the Green Acre Farm plan sustainability plan, and so we need time to finalize it before we distributing the RP for the implementing a contract that incorporate the requirement of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act regulation.
So can you explain how, or just share how long that process takes? I ask because, you know, you're wanting to extend the contract here for essentially another 6 years. And so if this contract, the same contractor has been getting this for 26 years and you're adding another 6 years extension, we have been locked into now, we will be locked into this contract for 32 years. And so, you know, I guess one of the things I'm asking is also, and if you can answer that first question, you also mentioned that you mentioned that this was the best cost, the best price for the city, and I guess I would love to know how LACN calculated that. And I say because that's hard to know whether or not this is the best value because it's been locked in for over 26 years now.
Okay, first of all, I would like to respond to your question. Like, you want to know like what have we done in the process of the finalizing the Green Acre Farm sustainability plan, right?
Right, like because you're trying to extend this contract for an additional 6 years because you said you needed time to finalize the plan. Is it going to take us 6 years to finalize the plan?
Oh yes. Okay. So why is 6-year contract extension? So in the ongoing develop long-term plan, we have two options. One is the composting facility, building the composting facility at Green Acre Farm, and the other is to continue the land application at Green Acre Farm. So for the composting facility option, we estimate about 6 years for completion because we have to issue the RP, process a new contract for composting, and build a compost facility at Green Acre Farm. So currently there is no composting facility at Green Acre Farm. So that's why we estimate about 6 years to build and complete the composting facility. However, if we go with the other option, which is to continue land application at Green Acre Farm, it will not take 6 years. We can issue the RP and process a new contract within 3 years. So we can stop the extension at the first 3-year term since the renewal is exercised at the city discretion. In regarding the, we mentioned that the land application at Green Eco Farm is the lowest option for the city biosolid program, because right now we're paying about from $45 to $50 per wet tons. It depends on how much ton that we send it to the farm. The more, the cheaper that we got for the rate. Compared to the other option, just like composting, we're paying about $60 and $62. And for the tire project, we pay about $65. That's why we said the land application at Green Eco Farm is the cheapest option for the city biosol program.
So just so I understand, you're saying it's, it's the cheapest one because we have our prices locked in from 26 years ago?
We have the price locked in, and it's also it's only increased by the CPI. Yes.
Okay. And so you're saying that, in your opinion, if you were to put out an RFP now, that the costs would come up much higher?
I would say so, because right now, based on my understanding, that they have an issue with the city, with the driver hiring, and with all the inflation, the cost could be higher. And one of the good things that during the amendment process negotiation, we're able to reduce or get some discount from RBM, like from 2.5% to 5% discounts. It depends on how much of the solid biosolid we bring it to them.
Thanks for that additional information. That's helpful to know. I mean, at the same time, we also want to make sure we compensate the contractor for any additional costs that they may incur from when we first approved this contract nearly 3 decades ago. I guess it's just one of the things that stuck out to me when I was looking at the board report, right? And I do appreciate all the background that you included. That was really helpful to follow in terms of understanding when this was first approved. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's been 26 years.
Yes.
But I'll go ahead and yield the rest of my time to my colleagues so they have an opportunity to ask. But I guess I'll just, for now, we'll say that one of the things that I heard, and it sounds like we would be able to finish our sustainability plan for Green Acres before 6 years. And so seeing that amount of time reduced for the years we're extending on this contract is something that I would like to see. If we don't need 6 years, we shouldn't add 6 years. I know, of course, we plan for contingency, right? Because, we know there's things outside of our control. But I just say that the sensitivity to the time, how long we've had this contract, is also something that just I'm hoping we can amend that. But I'll go ahead and yield the rest of my time, and I'd love to hear what my colleagues think.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Appreciate that. Just FYI, colleagues, we do have Adina on the line, and she can answer any other questions that we have also. So we'll go with Dr. Davis. Have I asked you on this item?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's see. This is about the farm in Bakersfield, right?
Yes.
And is the farm a part of our short range and long range plan, our strategic plan? We have a strategic plan around sustainability in terms of how we're using the farm, right?
Yes.
And what does that include in terms of our strategic plan on a long-term basis? Currently, we're using the farm to do what?
Right now, currently, we have we're using the biosolid as the fertilizer.
Okay.
For the farming operation.
Sure, and we reinvest that biosolids back into crop that we buy. We grow some industrial kind of crop, right?
We grow the non-human consumption crops,
correct,
such as Sudan, alfalfa, and we sell it to the local farmer.
Those are industrial,
to the local dairy.
Industrial crop that we're able to negotiate with some vendors who will then exchange with us some revenues that we can reinvest back into our city economy. Now, we've been doing that for the last 6 years, is what I've heard in this past discussion with Commissioner Coloso, that we've been doing the crop and that kind of stuff for the past 6 years, correct?
We have been doing it for the last, I believe the farming operation contract, we have it back in 2004. So we have been doing it back in 2004.
Okay, great. And that it bodes well for us as sustainability measures as we look at how we effectively use our biosolids. Now, what is the plan for the utilization of the farm moving forward in our long-range plan? We continue, we have no reason not to change what we're doing with the biosolids. It's working well in our implementation, right, of that plan, right? And we have intentions to date, at least, to continue to do that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, having said that, then, as we look at what we have been doing, it's been working very well. We don't have any other threats to that operation that you know of, do you?
No, we don't have any threats for the operation.
And there are no other plans to change it, right?
Well, okay. So there, like I mentioned, there are two options addressed in the long-term plan at Green Eco Farm. So if the cost is, if building the composting facility is cost-effective at Green Eco Farm, so we're gonna process the city biosolids and the city greenway. The final products, compost, will be used at Green Eco Farm to grow crops. And the remaining portion, it will be sold to the local farmer or given out to the current county resident in the good faith.
And that would make us a better corporate citizen with Kern County, wouldn't it?
Yes, yeah. That's one of the purpose that we want to go with that plan. However, if the if cost is not effective for building the compost facility option, we're gonna go to meet with the city of Bakersfield to request for the contract for the water supply contract extension.
So now, in this motion that you have before me, what are we proposing as it relates to the compost? What are we proposing in this motion? As it relates to compost?
We still need the information from the solid waste, from the solid resources support division in order for us to determine the cost effective.
Okay, so we don't have all the data yet.
We don't have it. Yes, we don't have the data yet.
To tell us about composting, correct?
Not yet.
And when do you anticipate we can get it?
Based on my understanding that the Solid Resource Support Division will soon release the RFP to manage the city greenways. And we ourselves will also initiate the process of the extension of the water supply contract. So I think it will be done sometime in summer or fall of this year.
Now, what are you asking me to do on this motion today?
We need more time to complete the sustainability plan. So that's why we need to extend the contract.
So you want to extend the contract, and during that period of time, you will get more data in terms of what the cost is going to be for us to construct a composting center, right?
That's true.
And where we will be able to make a more prudent decision about moving forward on how we are utilizing our biosolids.
That's correct.
Oh boy. Okay, and what is the time period that you want trying to extend this to?
This amendment, this contract amendment will be for 3 years with 1 3-year renewal option, starting on November this year.
So you want to extend it for 3 years. We'll find out about composting in the meanwhile. At the same time, we'll continue to do our biosolids in a short-term strategic plan in doing this.
Yes.
But we do think that if it makes financial sense, composting would be the best measure in a perfect world if we knew that it would financially be prudent, correct?
That's correct.
We would love to see composting, but we just don't have the data to say that that is the better of the two choices before us. So
No, we don't have it yet.
So therefore, we need this 3 years to move forward. Okay, I have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. That was actually very good. I'll go with Commissioner Villegas, and if I'll put something on the table, and then we can. If you have not been briefed, and you rather have a briefing, and then move, to better understand what we're doing here, we can always continue the item for a week, so that it gives us the time to get briefed. But I'm gonna go with Commissioner Villegas to see if you have any questions, and then we can make a decision on what we want to do. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the report and everyone's questions as well, just to be able to further understand what's before us. It seems to me it's a personal contract extension with RBM, who's been doing this since 1996. And I would just ask sanitation also just to look at the other haulers that we use over at Streets LA. There could be potential actually, let me backtrack. Is the job only for RBM to haul the equipment? No equipment, the biosolids.
No, the job for RBM is for transporting, loading, and land apply at Winnetka Farm. So they do the land application.
Oh, they do? Okay, never mind then. Okay, I was going to suggest, I'm like, well, we have so many other haulers that we use on an as-needed basis over at Streets LA, but I understand what you're saying. Okay, it's just good context for me to understand that. I don't have any other further questions. I understand that this is, it is a niche, for the city. I understand, that it is, they're practically kind of like the farmers in my head. That's how I compartmentalize collecting the biosolids from our two water reclamation plants, and then taking it and then probably placing it on the farm, and then utilizing it for some other byproduct that is made out of this. But just to I'm not sure, after you have done your plan, if how RBM would fit into this with a new RFP for them to. It seems like they've just been doing it for such a long time. They know what the city needs, but I'll leave that up to you all to after the first 3-year extension.
Okay, Commissioner. Anything else, Commissioner Villegas? You're good.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, colleagues, I'm more than happy to move this item forward, unless you feel that we need a briefing, and we can take a week to get that done with sanitation, and then bring it back to our board. I'll take a slight voting here.
Well, I will second it. I think that certainly we require them to get all the data to make the decision. It doesn't take 3 years to do it. However, we've been doing this thing for a long time. We should have had the data already, so that we can make the most intelligent decision is knowing all the numbers and being able to compare the decision between composting in terms of cost and continuing with the biosolids in the way that we have been doing it. So certainly I can support this, and I'm sure that within 3 years we probably won't even be here, but for the next board, when they come back in 3 years, we hope that the numbers will have been there by then. If not, we're going to call back just to make sure. We'll leave our numbers.
There you go.
We'll leave our numbers at the front desk.
We'll do public comment on that thing. And you're ready.
I think that's why we just wanted to say, why do we have a contractor for so long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What incentive is it to go and find out what the numbers are for composting?
Exactly. All right. Well, it sounds like we can. We're okay with moving it forward, if that's fine. I know, Dr. Davis, you were fine with it. Commissioner Pelosi, are you okay with this, or would you want to take a week to get briefed?
I I mean, I guess I would like a little bit more information knowing that this contract doesn't expire until November 15, 2022. So there's a little bit of time here. We're in February. That's it. I know my colleagues are so sound like they're supportive, so I'm also not trying to hold back the item. I still go back to just wanting to know a little bit more information about the
Well, we
contract.
can wait a week or so. That's fine.
Maybe I can just ask quickly. I've seen this hop-in stand here.
No, we can bring it back.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Calosa.
Did you have anything to add, Ms. Hoppenstand, to kind of give additional clarification on like the length of time you've had this contract and who this contractor is, and are they local to that to where Green Acres is?
Sure. So Responsible Biosolids Management, they've been our contractor for a while, responding to an RFP, prior RFP, and I think there was another RFP, was there not, Alan? So in the interim, so they've become a contractor through a competitive processes. So that's reflective of the amount of time there actually have been iterative competitive processes. This is a highly regulated area under the Clean Water Act. So it's not just a farmer in the simplistic sense adding a soil amendment. You have to comply. We do have a farmer separately, but you do have to comply with the regulations and make sure that you are doing so. So land application is sort of more of a complex technical expert service than one might potentially think. And then also the city has both under state law, but under its own kind of established recycling practices, we are beneficially reusing our biosolids in this way. So that's kind of one of the reasons why it's been a long-term practice. Green Acres Farm is where predominantly all of our biosolids are beneficially reused. We have some composting already through contracting, but not on site. We have another option at TI, but it's much smaller. That this really is how the city beneficially reuses its biosolids. So a continuity of that practice, unless and until something else is determined, I think is important because we have no real backup at this point for the quantity of biosolids that otherwise is land applied. But I did want to highlight that this is an expert service with regulatory compliance. It's not I can't do it. I'm not qualified, for example. So just wanted to add that clarification to the extent it's helpful.
Thanks, Ms. Hoppenstand. And maybe I don't know if this is for you or Mr. Tran, but so can you just go back again on the timeline for the RFP, because you asked for the board's authorization 2 years ago to distribute an RFP, and it was never distributed. So can you just walk through again, like what the plan is for that? I know you talked about the Green Acres Farm, but you didn't exactly give us like, a specific deadline of when you plan to do that out, because there's a delay that happened 2 years ago. If you can just elaborate more.
Okay, so we had the adopted RFP back in 2020. However, we did not release that RFP because there are two issues in the future for the Green Acre Farm. Actually, it's only one issue. That's the future water usage. Because of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act regulation, that will limit the pumping of the groundwater for us to use for the irrigation in the future. Also, the second thing, that's also the water issue. That's the City of Bakersfield water supply contract. It will expire on December 2026. So right after December 26, we will have a limited of the water for the irrigation uses. So as the result, we project to have less water for farming operation. Less water for irrigation, meaning we will do less farming. So since the biosolids are being used as fertilizer, it will require less biosolid to be hauled to Green Acre Farm. So we have to divert more biosolid to the other side for the higher cost. So because of the water uses issue, that triggered us to prepare for the long-term plan, Green Acre Farm. And our executive management seen the potential of the collaboration opportunity between two LA Stand division for the composting. And so we can process city biosalt and city green waste to process at Green Acre Farm. So we were told to work with the solid division for that opportunity, and that is still ongoing.
Thank you, Mr. Tran. That's helpful background. And just one last question from me, and I appreciate everyone's patience. It's a large contract for over almost three decades. I just want to better understand this because, as we've heard, I'm sure each board probably only gets one bite at the apple, if you will, because the next time it comes, it's a totally new set of people that take a look at this and then approve that amendment. So what is the actual expense each year? Because I know that part of the action you're asking the board to take is increasing the cost ceiling by $57 million. So the total amount of this contract is over $237 million. So is that $57 million that you're requesting, is that for a 3-year period or is that for a 6-year period? Because we have a 3-year extension.
The $57 million increase, that's for the total of 6 years. So each year will average about $9 million.
Okay, and that's been pretty, the cost to operate for RMB, has it been $9 million for the majority of the contract period?
It's been about $8 million, plus we have to add the CPI for the next 6 years.
I see. Okay, that's helpful to know the breakdown. Okay. I don't have any questions at this time. I may reach out to you, Mr. Allen, after this, and hopefully when this item comes before the board in 6 years, hopefully not in 6 years, hopefully sooner than that, because we want to see the RFP done before then. Also, and I know there's transitions to it at LA Stand, but hopefully you'll also take the time to brief whatever board is in place when that RFP is released.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Pelosa, for that line of questioning. That was really good. And Ms. Hopkinson, thank you for being here, also ready to answer any questions. All right, colleagues, if you guys are okay, we can move forward this item and then ask for additional information on the back end of it. Is there a motion on the table to move this item forward?
So moved.
Got it. I'll second. So there's a motion on the table by Commissioner Villegas, second by myself. Any objections, colleagues? Dr. Davis or Commissioner Calosa? No objections. Got it. Dr. Campos, there's a motion by Commissioner Villegas, second by myself. Should we take roll call?
Absolutely, Madam Chair. We'll go ahead and start with you.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis? You're on mute, Dr. Davis.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Calosa?
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas?
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous for item number 4. Madam Chair, would you like to consider this item to go forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Tran and Mr. Lowe, nice to see you all. Have a good week. Take care of that big contract.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you, everyone. It is 12:15. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll see you all back at 12:20.
All right.
Go ahead.
Whenever you're ready, Dr. Campos.
Let me go ahead and start the recording for you. Okay, Madam Chair, you are now in record mode. Would you like me to reestablish quorum for you?
Yes, please.
Great, thank you. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Good afternoon, everyone. For Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022, it's 12:22 p.m. We will go ahead and reestablish quorum. We have Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioners Calosa and Villegas. Madam Chair, you do have a quorum.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Campos. All right, colleagues, the rest of our agenda is some administrative items, and then we have our ramp presentation that we'll hear towards the end of today's meeting. Okay, with that said, we're going to item number 5. This is an AFE, a State Water Resources Control Board. The Bureau, this is in the Council District 1, 4, 6, 7, and 15 for the Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $81,000, new adjusted amount of $99,000, to increase encumbrance to pay for annual waste discharge requirements and storm water permit fees for landfill facilities operated by the Bureau of Sanitation for the term dates of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the service agreement. Mr. Semeno and Mr. Hamilton, I imagine you're here for this. Go ahead.
Yes, this is for regulatory fees for the 5 landfills that the city caretakes for. And they're essentially, we're increasing by $81,000, which brings it to the same amount that we encumbered last year, which was $99,000 for 2021. So this would be for this fiscal 22-23 fiscal year.
Mr. Semeno, do you want to add anything to Mr. Hamilton's?
No, that's what he said is correct.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Colleagues, questions on this item? We'll start with Commissioner Calosa.
Thank you, Madam President. No questions for me. Thank you for your presentation.
And Dr. Davis, questions from you?
No questions for me either. Thank you for the request.
Got it. And Commissioner Villegas?
No questions for me either. Thank you.
Great. No questions from me. Is there a motion on the table to move this item forward?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second. Dr. Campos, item number 5, there's a motion by Commissioner Calosa, second by myself. Should we take roll call?
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
Thank you. This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move this forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sermeno and Mr. Hamilton. Have a good week.
You're welcome.
Got it. Colleagues, moving on to item number 6. This is in Council District 4, 7, 14, and 15. This is also an AFE for the South Coast Air Quality Management District. For the Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution for an authority for expenditure in the amount of $32,000, new adjusted amount of $50,000, to increase encumbrance to pay annual permit fees for composting, green waste processing, and other operation emissions fees and equipment permit fees at multiple Bureau of Sanitation locations. Authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the service agreement for the term dates of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Mr. Semeno and Mr. Hamilton.
So this is the same as number 5, except for it's a different regulatory agency. This is the SCAQMD. We're paying fees of roughly, we're encumbering $50,000 for fees that we anticipate paying for air permits for our composting facilities. This is at Griffith Park and at the Lopez Canyon landfill. And this is an actual increase over last year. Last year we encumbered $15,000. So we're increasing this up to $50,000 because of a change. We're moving our permits from a state permit system to CARB at Lopez Canyon to the AQMD permit system. And our permit package would actually cost $36,000 for that permit for the equipments that are at the Lopez facility. So that includes that new cost. So that's why we're increasing it $35,000 this year for those permit fees. And this is, as I said before, this is for composting at Lopez and at the Griffith Park facility.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that, Mr. Hamilton. Any questions, colleagues? I'll start with Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. I don't have any questions.
Got it. Commissioner Calosa?
No questions for me. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Got it. And Dr. Davis?
No questions on this item either.
Thank you, Mr. Sermon. Oh, not yet. Hang on. We have to do our voting. Is there a motion on this for this item to move forward? I'll move it. So a second to Dr. Davis. Thank you. We'll take a first from me and a second from Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, are we ready to take roll call?
Absolutely. And this is for item number 6. We'll go ahead and start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move this forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Sermeno and Mr. Hamilton, are you with us for the next item?
No.
All right. Have a good week.
You also.
Thank you. All right. This takes us now to item number 7. This is in Council District 11. This is also an AFE for the National Water Research Institute. Bureau of Sanitation and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $73,647 to establish funds to engage the 501c3 nonprofit organization National Water Research Institute to administer and coordinate the activities of an independent advisory panel to provide expert peer review of the technical and scientific aspects of the pilot study for services received from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. Authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute this service agreement. Mr. Enmami, I take it you are here for this item.
Yes.
All right, let's hear you.
All right. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Commissioners. My name is Nasir Emami with LA Sanitation and Environment, Water Recycling Implementation Division at Hyperion. So we're requesting board's approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $73,647 to engage National Water Research Institute to administer and coordinate the activities of an independent scientific advisory panel to provide expert peer review of the technical and scientific aspects of the Hyperion membrane bioreactor or MBR pilot study for services received from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. So fiscal year 2021. The formation of an independent advisory panel is required by the California Code of Regulations, State Board Division of Drinking Water, to assure protection of public health. Furthermore, our memorandum of agreement with the project partners, LA Sanitation and Environment, LADWP, and West Basin Municipal Water District, requires the formation of an independent advisory panel and consultation with the independent advisory panel during the design, construction, and operation phase of pilot study, and to consider the independent advisory panel's recommendation. The independent advisory panel includes 7 members, IAP or Independent Advisory Panel Chair, a licensed water engineer, a toxicologist, microbiologist, a licensed geologist, a chemist, and an MBR and RO, which is a membrane bioreactor and reverse osmosis technology expert. So with that, I'm here to address any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Mr. Mami, for that presentation. Colleagues, any questions on this item? We'll start with you, Dr. Davis.
No questions for me on this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Calosa?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for your presentation, Mr. Imami. So just wanted to clarify. So I know the AFE lists that it covers expenses from last year. So is the pilot study done already, or you're in the middle of it?
So we're in the middle of it. So right now, we are in the middle of construction. Our projected date to complete construction is May of this year, May 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be followed, by a short period of, startup and commissioning period. And then after that, 1 year of the core of, this testing would be year one, which is 1 year of testing for pathogen log removal demonstration.
And then what do you plan to do with the results of this study? Now, obviously, recycled water at Hyperion, there's so many goals around reaching our very lofty goals of 100% recycled water. Just curious, how does this pilot go to informing what the future plans of Hyperion are?
Absolutely. So this pilot is like a proof of concept for Hyperion 2035 as part of LA's Green New Deal. So the data that we obtain from this pilot, would help us towards obtaining regulatory approval for Hyperion 2035, and also to develop design criteria. This pilot would help us, also to develop design criteria and cost criteria for the Hyperion 2035. So 3 components: design criteria, cost criteria, and regulatory approval.
That's helpful. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Mami. Please do share the results with the board once you have the pilot study underway. I'm sure many of us are interested, especially I know Commissioner Villegas, about the results of this pilot project at Hyperion. But I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. And Commissioner Villegas, did I ask you already on questions? Okay, Commissioner Villegas, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to ask that Commissioner Calosa. I just wanted to see the results of the study when they can become available. If we can review them as well.
Absolutely. I'll make a note of that.
Okay. 2 special requests, Mr. Imami, on this item.
Sounds good.
Right. Look forward to the results of that study as well. All right, colleagues, is there a second to my motion to move this item forward?
So move.
I'll do a second by myself, and a first by me, and then a second by Dr. 2 seconds by Dr. Davis and Commissioner Villegas.
All right.
All right, Dr. Campos, any objections, Commissioner Calosa? No. All right, moving this item forward, Dr. Campos, should we do roll call?
Absolutely. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move this forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mami. I look forward to that report and seeing you back on board.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, we are now on item number 8. This is an administrative item. This is in Council District 11. This is specification submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. Council District 11, Asilomar Boulevard Stabilization Project, W.O.E190907673, estimate of $8,506,919. Bid receipt date, March 30th, 2022. There's nobody here to present this item, right, Dr. Campos?
That is correct, Madam Chair. This is an administrative item. However, there is a special request to have the board consider adopting this item as amended. As your next item will inform you, item number 9, there's the Los Angeles Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement, short for LA RAMP, and that is a new advertising platform. The current solicitation before you in item number 8 references LA Bavin, which is the current Business Assistance Virtual Network. So we are asking that the board adopt this item as amended to reflect that LA RAMP would be the advertisement platform that we would use to advertise the solicitation.
Agreed. Thank you for doing that. That's really good that we're just really fell right today. Okay. So, is there a motion, second to my motion to move this item forward, colleagues?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any objections, Commissioner Calosa or Commissioner Dr. Davis?
None for me.
Okay, got it. Great. With that, Dr. Campos, there's a motion on the table by me and second by Commissioner Villegas.
And Madam Chair, just for clarity, this is as amended?
Yes, as amended, yes.
Thank you both commissioners. We'll go ahead and start the roll call for item number 8. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
Item number 8 is adopted as amended and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to consider this to go forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Colleagues, we are now in our final item, an oral report. This is very exciting. We get to hear all about LA RAMP. This is the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement, Office of Procurement, Mayor's Office of Budget and Innovation. Why did I have a hard time saying that? Anyways, happy to see you here, Ms. Hoppes, and I know your team is here as well. Happy to have you here on our meeting and excited to hear all about this. I love the picture, by the way. I love that skyline. Love it. So great. You brought us so much joy today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners, and Dr. Campos for the opportunity to present to you today. We're very excited to be here. Again, my name is Shannon Hoppes. I'm the Chief Procurement Officer with the Mayor's Office of Budget and Innovation. And before we begin, I have to thank you all on the Commission for your support in this effort. We would not be here today if it wasn't for your interest and support in this space. So thank you for that. Thank you so much for your continued partnership. In addition to the board, we have been very grateful for the support of those at ITA, Ted Roth and his team, of course, John Reamer and his team at BCA, as well as EWDD, the council, the mayor. I mean, just all really rallying to make sure we were able to deliver this. And my team has just been so excited to be part of this initiative. And as you mentioned, my team is here, Daniel Cho and Andrew Choi, and we'll pull them in if there's any other questions. But let's get to it. As most of you know, we have been working on replatforming LA Babin for the last couple of years. We moved departments onto the new platform this last April, and it gave the departments a lot more functionality, metrics, and reporting capabilities than we had with our previous platform. And we're happy to say that after many months of engagement with our business community and our departments, it was determined that LA Babin would be retired, recognized and appreciated for its 20 years of service. And on February 18th, the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement, or RAMP, replaced LA Babin. This new platform will house and provide more data and transparency in our entire procurement process. We'll be able to provide forecasting of city opportunities so businesses can grow and scale in anticipation of upcoming RFPs. And this is going to be a place where businesses can connect and engage with one another. We've also built this platform with the capacity to allow non-city organizations to post their opportunities on this platform. And the partnership really represents the city's and the region's commitment to supporting our business community and our local economy. It's really a commitment to support our diverse businesses and to work together to share best practices, inform better policy, and future legislation. This really could be considered one of the city's largest public-private economic development initiatives for the city. It's also said that the region itself represents approximately $30 billion in procurement spend per year. And our very conservative numbers show that RAMP will initially house over $10 billion worth of contracting opportunities. So we're very excited about that. We all know more than ever there's been a concerted effort to ensure diversity and inclusion in our procurement, not just within the city, but across our various agencies. We also know how difficult it's been for the city to wrap our arms around the data since much of it was never collected. RAMP will now capture this data, which will provide insight that will help the city make informed policy and create better targeted outreach programs for businesses. RAMP will also allow our outside partners to use our data to filter, outreach, and easily identify diverse businesses. The interest in RAMP has been overwhelming. The business community understands and really appreciates the potential of what aggregating our opportunities can do for both our vendors and for their agencies, attracting new talent, better pricing, more collaborative procurements, and supporting more diverse businesses. Here are some of our initial partners who have committed to posting their opportunities on RAMP. They range from various sectors, from sports and entertainment, such as AEG, the Dodgers, the NFL media, to construction and engineering companies, such as Clark and WSP, to banking, City National, to hospitals, such as Cedars and USC, and even to local municipalities, such as Long Beach and the city of Torrance. Very quickly, I'm just going to show you a glimpse of the new look and feel of RAMP. You are able to go onto the site even right now to go through it and peruse it yourself. But you'll see it's a clean, more modern, intuitive space. It'll also be a place where the city will advertise its various business programs, materials, videos, and other related resources. It'll be a marketplace where contractors and partners can build relationships for future opportunities to work together. And again, RAMP is where businesses can find solicitations both in and outside of the city. So we're really expecting this vendor pool to grow, to not just be so city-centric, but to really bring in industries that we haven't typically seen on this platform to serve the greater needs of our additional partners. We are in year 2 of a 5-year development plan. As I mentioned, last April, we transitioned all departments onto the back end of this platform. Departments were trained and given access to a lot more reporting and functionality than we previously had. We introduced RAMP to the public on February 11th by way of a virtual event that was hosted by the Los Angeles Business Council. And then we went live just this last Friday, February 18th. In the next 3 years, we hope to fully digitize the procurement process, centralize our contracting data, and allow for invoicing and payment management. The goal here is really to bring all of the city's contracting and procurement systems into one place. And these systems will bring continuous improvement to the city, as well as build-outs that will also be in anticipation of the Olympic Games and their procurement needs. We will be seeing an executive directive from the mayor announcing RAMP as the city's new solicitation platform sometime this month. And with that, I thank you all for your time and support, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Hobbs. Appreciate that. I love the look, by the way. Very nice.
Thank you.
And I know yes, very nice. Any questions, colleagues?
No questions, but comments.
Yes, Davis.
I thank Shannon for the work that they have done, and certainly the upgrade and the new technology that we bring to the table can be an asset to help us to be even more effective and more efficient. And I think, as she has observed, while we can have all the data in the world, it's still going to be up to us to utilize this data in such ways that we are able to result some of the hiring and recruiting that we do in ways that it reflects the population we're serving. And certainly that's going to be up to us. But my observation is that this new technology will certainly make it easier for us, and we will be able to select and target what it is that we need to reflect what we want to accomplish, and her work will make it that much easier. So I thank her for the hard work and believe that it's going to be great public value to us in the city.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Anything to add, Commissioner Villegas?
Thank you. I appreciate your report as well. Congratulations on such good work. Just a quick question. You mentioned other bureaus are already starting to use it?
Well, the entire city is already on it.
We've already transitioned.
Yeah, they transitioned back in April. This part was the public-facing side. and the ability to allow outside agencies, such as the ones I listed earlier, to start posting in this space as well. So we are onboarding them right now. Businesses are being encouraged to expand their profiles because this platform allows them to talk a bit more about their business. So they can advertise, highlight what they've worked on. So we're using this time to really get them to build out those profiles so they can be better seen by our partners in the coming month.
Congratulations. That's such a big feat you all did.
Thank you. Team effort for sure. We loved this space though. We are collectively passionate in this space. So we definitely wanted to come before your board to share this win with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. And Commissioner Pelosa.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and great to see you again. To our Chief Procurement Officer and the entire CPO team, thank you for taking the time to present before our board. It's so important that our constituents hear about this work, especially because the board awards so many contracts and so many businesses, and especially our bureaus, utilize LA Bobbin, and will utilize Ramp LA more and more. Probably some of the most in the city, I'm sure, and I can already see in some of the recent postings. Of course, there's GSD and some of the other departments like BWP that also have tons of posting, but it's just so smart for us to have a long-range vision, and that's really thanks in part to your vision as our Chief Procurement Officer to really look at procurement from a regional perspective and being inclusive of not just city opportunities, but all opportunities. And how do we move together? It's really so smart, and I look forward to seeing how we continue to make it better. We have, I know, so many accessing LA opportunities every year, so let us know how we can be helpful. I know one of the initial challenges when you start an entire new procurement system is, the utilization and making sure that we're able to transition businesses and really just letting more businesses know that this is where they look, and if they look for Babin, it's not there anymore. So let us know how we can be helpful to support your work. I'm sure that you're already working with Commissioner Davis on his Accessing LA coming up. So there's many opportunities, but just thank you again for all your hard work, and a big congratulations to you and Mr. Cho and Mr. Choi. And the I always gets me. But thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Same sentiments, Shannon, for everything you've done, and to Daniel and Andrew for their work. I know they've been with you almost since day one. I remember talking to them. And yes, any platform that we can engage you in so that there's more outreach and more understanding on how to use this new platform is really important. So I'm sure we'll be pulling you somehow, you and your team, on making sure that we do that, because it's as important to us for more folks to know how to use this new platform, because we want to make sure we extend the opportunity to as many folks as possible. And I personally like the fact that we have other opportunities available. Sometimes those opportunities are some of the business are better prepared for those other opportunities, and it gives them like a step up to come to our city work. So I love that piece of that, and I think I've been with kind of cheering you on in the background for all the time you've done it. So
you have
appreciate all of this, all of our colleagues. I know
yes.
Villegas, Commissioner Davis, and our previous presidents as well have been very supportive of your work. So thank you for that, Ms. Hoppes, and I appreciate you came to us and presented this. And now we look forward to making it very well known now throughout the whole city.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Does your team want to say anything? But I know we've congratulated them, but if they want to add anything, Andrew, Daniel? They went shy and took
No. Just like you guys want. We'd rather let Shannon do our Chief Procurement Officer do the talking. But thank you once again, board, and It's been a pleasure just working and looking forward to just the things that we can do together with Public Works. And we know that Public Works is one of the greatest drivers of procurement in the city, and so a lot of partnership opportunities ahead. And we believe that there's going to be lots and lots of opportunities for our small and diverse business community as well. So looking forward to that. Thank you all.
Thank you, Daniel. Andrew, you want to say something? No. Just all right. Just giving us a high five there. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for that, Ms. Hobbs and the team. We look forward to seeing you once again, and please count on our support all the time.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yay. All right, colleagues, that is the end of today's meeting. With that, anything we would want to close with? But if not, have a good rest of the day, and we are adjourned. Thank you.